What's going on, you guys? Charlie here from MAPerformance, and I gotta be honest with you, today we're making a tough video to make because today's not just any other video. Today we're talking about the thing that no car guy likes to figure out. We're busting out the calculators, and today we're gonna figure out exactly how much it costs to modify your Evo 10. Let's get into it. Oh. As you may have seen in our previous Evo 10 videos, one called So You Want to Modify Your Evo 10, we went over the pros and cons of modifying your car and exactly what it is that you should expect when adding power. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, today we're going to be going over the costs of modifying your Evo 10. As the title says, it is to roughly break down the build cost from purchasing your car to getting it drivable for whether that be the street or the track. So again, whether you're interested in building a slightly modified street car or an all-out track monster, stay tuned because we are gonna break it all down for you in today's video. But before someone starts going ahead and tearing apart the comment section like an angry Kermit frog from the meme, letting me know that they found a better deal somewhere else, keep in mind that these prices are relative to right now and may be subject to change. However, I'll have you all know that MAPerformance does price match every one of our competitors, even after this sale, to ensure that you are getting the best possible deal on your performance parts. So again, with that being said, without any further delay, without any more ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down the cost of modifying your Mitsubishi Evo 10. And to make things a little bit more fun, for every $10,000 that you spend on your car, I'll take a shot for you. All right, you guys, so before you go ahead and start modifying a car, you're gonna have to have a car to modify. So the first section here in today's video is gonna be us going to actually currently go ahead and shop for an Evo 10 that's on the market right here, right now. I will go ahead and add that if you are looking for a bit of a diamond in the rough, those are gonna be hard to find, and from our previous experience in buying cars, you kind of get what you pay for. Go ahead and roll the clip of Xavier's TikTok of our Evo 10.
The gang's all here.
Otherwise, to start, you're gonna wanna go ahead and outline what it is that an ideal spec is for you. We do recommend finding a car that has extensive service records and preferably has the 5-speed manual transmission, as the other transmission variations that this car came with can oftentimes be the weak point as you start to make more power. Clapped out boxes like the Evo 10 that we own can be found. They're just a little bit tough to find, and at the end of the day, it's likely going to cost you more money to rebuild one than to just get one that was built or sold to you in decent condition. And honestly, I'd go ahead and recommend looking for a good, clean car to start with, preferably one with as little modifications as possible. So I've got to go ahead and say within 30 miles of our zip code, it's looking pretty sad, but I'm gonna go open this thing up to all miles, and we're just gonna go ahead and sort this thing. You already know, lowest price first. All right, so we're looking at what they are considering a fair deal. It's a used 120,000 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo GSR. It is the gray color that we have. Literally the ugliest color in the world, Phantom Black Pearl. But it's got the 5-speed manual. 120K on the clock. Northern Colorado, coming in at a price of $28,995. So if you're literally looking for the cheapest Evo 10 that's listed for sale online right now, you're gonna expect to spend about 30 G's. I'm gonna go ahead and add that for reference, our Evo 10 was like a salvage title car that was found somewhere in the middle of America, and that thing was like 15K or less. So like, the used car market's on some bullshit right now. 30K for an otherwise bone stock car like this, that ain't it for me. Now, of course, looking at these cars, again, like I said, we were able to find better prices before. These COVID car prices are absolutely insane, but we're gonna go ahead and assume you're gonna need, give or take, 25 grand for the car to start off. So if we're spending 20 G's, you know what that means, I gotta take 2 shots. Time for number 2. I am so not stoked on this. Oh, once you have your Evo 10, you've assumably gone ahead and caught the car up on all of the required maintenance. So now the first thing you're gonna wanna do is start adding some modifications, which, as we know, these cars aren't super crazy fun in stock form. So you're gonna wanna modify it, make it a little bit faster. The next thing you wanna go and do, modify it, right? For that, we're gonna head on over to none other than MAPerformance.com, where we're gonna begin shopping for the modification process. Now, for this video, we're gonna go ahead and be sourcing quite a bit of bolt-on parts. For this section, we're gonna go ahead and assume that you're gonna use MA Performance products because we make pretty good stuff for this car. Go ahead and scroll down to select Map Products, and that's where we're gonna pull up our list of stuff. So to start, we're gonna be looking for that coveted intake. Obviously, you can go ahead and optionally add on that heat shield. As you guys can see here on the screen, that heat shield is gonna cost you an extra 90 bucks, but it's definitely worth it. Helps keep all that unwanted hot air out of the intake, keeps those IATs cold. Additionally, you're gonna need that downpipe, right? That's gonna run you $689.99. That is subject to change, don't quote me on that. From there, we're gonna go ahead and add an intercooler. We've got the 3.5-inch intercooler option with the piping kit. Not a bad deal. The only thing I will say is I wish we put our logo on the front. You can go ahead and do it yourself like I did on our Evo 10. You're gonna need, what else do we have on that list? Boost controller. For this, we recommend running anything between the Grimspeed or the Cobb boost controller for this car. The Grimspeed one works phenomenal, 125 bucks. All right, guys, so the next thing you're gonna need is a cat back for your car. We ever so, I don't know, conveniently just released an MA Performance catback. So if you're gonna be looking for a dual exit catback for your car, go ahead and run with that option. If you prefer a single exit option, Tomei makes a great catback, nothing against it. It's a phenomenal option. You're gonna be running those bolt-ons. There's gonna be some more stuff that you need though. We're gonna go ahead and look at some cooling modifications, and since cars making more power end up needing a little bit more of a robust cooling system, we're gonna be looking into an aluminum radiator and some radiator hose upgrades, some silicone hoses. And since we're going ahead and looking into other parts, a brake upgrade kit wouldn't be a poor choice by any means. However, I will go ahead and add that since it is this segment of it is a budget build, we're just gonna go ahead and opt for changing out the pads for now. For pad options, go with a Hawk pad, something of that nature. You're gonna be in decent shape. Now you may be wondering where all this new power that you're supposedly making is coming from, because as we know, just throwing parts on a car doesn't make more power. Then you're gonna need a new tune for your car. Now for Evo 10s, there is a ton of e-tuning options out there, and those are gonna range from people like Rickerman Tuning or Devin at Boost in Performance or John at 5150. So that's just to name a few. And obviously, again, there are tons of other options to go from, but those are some people that we've heard do really well. Well, they do a good job, so hit them up. However, you may want to consider getting a Pro Tune at a tuning shop near you. Again, I'd expect to spend around $800 to $1,000 for a Pro Tune, and between $300 to $700 for an E-Tune. Additionally, we're gonna go ahead and wanna get a decent set of coilovers or lowering springs. Again, this is on the budget build, so lowering springs are probably it. And depending on what it is that you're looking for or building the car for, you're gonna make a different choice. And then finally, obviously, you're gonna be needing a clutch, so you can go ahead and put all that power down to the wheels. The stock clutch is probably not gonna be a great option. Now, of course, we're currently assuming that you are handy with a wrench of some sorts and that you can do the work yourself. And if not, then you're gonna be looking at a shop, and those rates tend to go around up about 150 bucks an hour, at least around us. Near you, they may be a little bit different. Additionally, this type of setup would be super reliable as a performance/street car, that is. And of course, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're gonna go ahead and rate this car an 8 on a scale for reliability. Now, before we get any further into the video, I wanna go ahead and let you know that MA Performance has all the products that you're gonna need come Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Again, if you are looking for a deal, look no further, because you're gonna be able to go ahead and buy the parts you're looking for at a discount now, even if they're not listed at a discount, because come Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if they go on sale, we'll give you a discount. We'll give you your money back that you would have spent if the product gets discounted on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so you can shop with confidence at MAPerformance.com. So that's gonna conclude things on the mild side of things. For a medium build, someone who wants to be a little bit faster than some of those out there, that we're gonna go ahead and break that down, the additions that you need to make to the previous setup. So let's assume that you're looking to be a little bit faster than the other basic Evo 10s that are out there. What other parts are you gonna need? Now, the first thing that you're gonna wanna make sure that you have is some sort of turbo and exhaust manifold upgrade. Again, those are gonna be some of the weak points. So for starters, you're gonna wanna go ahead and upgrade to a stock frame turbo. Next, you're gonna wanna go ahead and consider your fueling needs. And for that, we're gonna recommend our 450 plus horsepower flex fuel kit that goes for right around 750 bucks. This includes injectors, fuel rails, lines, a fuel pump, and maybe a little bit more. You're also gonna wanna go ahead and look into an oil cooler kit that's for the cars. Our MAPerformance option costs 500 bucks. Additionally, those brake pad upgrades you did in the last phase, they're not gonna cut it anymore, champ. You're gonna need to go ahead and get a set of upgraded rotors, stainless steel brake lines, and that's probably gonna run you right around 1,200 bucks. Now, it would also be wise to consider a catch can for your car at this stage. We do make an incredibly popular catch can coolant expansion tank that goes for about 550 bucks, and that should help with some of that oil blow-by. Now finally, if you had opted for just lowering springs before, now is the time to go ahead and upgrade those for a full-on coilover setup. Now those are gonna run you anywhere from just under about 1,000 bucks to anywhere upwards of like 10 grand for a set of JRZ coilovers. Again, this is just assuming that you did all the work to your car yourself and you didn't have a shop install anything. You'd also want to go ahead and probably get a retune of your car at this phase, considering all the fueling stuff that you changed to actually work with those parts and everything else you put on the car. So you're going to want to go ahead and assume another $800-ish, depending on where it is you go and how good of a deal you get. Now at this level of modification, you should be able to make anywhere from 400 wheel to 470 wheel horsepower. Now you'll go ahead and probably be limited by the size of the turbo that you went with. The fueling upgrades that you made, those choices are gonna set you back. And of course the stock engine and the otherwise stock driveline. Now, considering the engine is nearly a ticking time bomb at this level, I'd rate the reliability of this build somewhere between a 5 and a 6. And honestly, I would definitely not rely on a build like this as a daily driver or a commuter car because again, you're kind of teetering the line of mild to wild and that just doesn't make for a good combo. Next up is the hot build. This is big boy shit. Now let's just assume that you are done f***ing around and you are absolutely tired of losing races here and there to modified Corvettes. You're sick and tired of problems coming up due to just various corners that you may have cut and expenses that you may have spared, and you're ready for your Evo 10 to you build that motor, baby. The first thing that I'm throwing in the car is our built short block, and that is gonna be the upgrade that you're gonna want. And that's gonna come with upgraded bearings, rods, pistons, cams, and more. It'll run you about 5 Gs, but it'll be able to hold tons of power. Next, I'd go ahead and upgrade the fueling system. Again, you're gonna wanna go ahead and look at our 500 plus horsepower flex fuel kit. Of course, if you went ahead and just forewent the medium phase of the build, you can skip that weak 450 plus horsepower kit and save yourself a little bit of money. From there, you'll also want to go ahead and upgrade your brake kit into some sort of different big brake kit similar to this one from AP Racing or somewhere else. The big thing is going to be another turbo system upgrade. That's going to run you a pretty penny. A new turbo and potentially an exhaust manifold are going to set you back just a little tiny bit of money. But they're gonna go a long way, especially in the top end of the RPM range, but of course that comes at a cost. At this price and this commitment level, you're gonna be expecting to be into this thing for quite a bit of money. And of course, again, you'll wanna take into consideration that you're going to need another tune, so I'd expect to spend, again, another 800-ish on the tune if you've done this in 3 different phases. And obviously that's assuming that you've done all the modification work to the car yourself. But anyways, for this build, you're gonna be expecting to make anywhere from 550 wheel horsepower to 700 wheel horsepower, depending on the fueling upgrade and turbo options that you had chosen. Of course, at this level, you may end up needing to look into things like axles or drive shafts or transmission upgrades or even seats. But this would, of course, cover most of the basics. Again, I would highly recommend that you look into some safety gear upgrades and adding some sort of roll cage if you're really into the upper horsepower range, because tracking the car at this level is going to require a roll cage, especially in like sanctioned drag racing. Now, in terms of reliability, I'd rate this around a 7, but I'd expect some things to break or act funny here and there, especially as you're just sorting out things And that's honestly just the nature of the beast as you modify cars that get upwards of 1,000 horsepower. Now, in conclusion, cars are obviously super expensive, and with the right parts, the right knowledge, you may be able to curb some of those costs. That's where we have our sales guys available 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday on regular hours. We're opening up Saturdays too, so this is gonna change the game altogether. And again, if you're really thinking about modifying an Evo 10, I would not hesitate to hit one of those guys up because they definitely know what it is they're doing. With that being said, if you wanted to modify an Evo 10, starting with the base package that you'd end up with, all the way up to the wild side, let's go ahead and get a grand total here on the tally. We're looking at $25K for our car. We're looking at another, what did we say for the mild one? Full bolt-ons. How much did we say that was? 5,500, so you're looking at 25 grand for the car, 5,500 for the first phase of upgrades. Into the hot boy shit, that's where we're looking at things for upwards of $15,000. You're looking at a $35,000 start. You're gonna be into this thing for about 50 to 60K at the end of the day. So, is it worth it to modify your Evo 10? That's the question that we're left asking. To modify your Evo 10 and make upwards of 700 wheel horsepower, you're looking at spending anywhere from 50 to 60 grand after you take into consideration the cost of the car. Is it worth it? You'll have to let us know down in the comments below. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And now that we've added up all of the numbers that we've spent on our Evo 10, I'm gonna go ahead and take one more shot for the people in the back who went and broke their budget on something like this, because this one's for you. Subscribe because I'm already sweaty. It's hot in here, baby. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.